Are live. Good day, Cochise County, and welcome to another edition of the Michael Zehr Show. Today's date is March 29th, 2024. It's also Good Friday. So, our special spotlight veteran guest today is David Dean. David, I want to thank you for taking time out and coming down here and talking with us this morning. What I did is adjusted the time a little bit, so we are on a little bit later than normal. But David had to get his workout in, so we gotta honor that, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, David. Where's home? Where were you born and raised, and that kind of stuff?
I was born and raised in Wytheville, Virginia.
In Virginia?
It's down in the mountains. It's not. Most people think of Virginia as being Northern Virginia, the D.C. area, or down in the Tidewater by Norfolk, but we're in the mountains.
Okay.
It's right on Interstate 81. It's about the same distance from my hometown to North Carolina, Tennessee, West Virginia, and Kentucky.
Wow.
So that might explain the accent a little bit.
Well, and then I know that when you guys had the bluegrass band there at the Elks, that you really enjoyed that music too and had a good time as did I. So I was glad that we went. That was a great time and good fun for all there. So tell us, what was it that inspired you to join the military, and what branch did you join?
Well, I was fairly newly married. Got married in 1980.
Okay.
Joined the Army in 1982. My wife was going to college, so I was just I was her sidekick then. Working in a shoe store, and 21 years old, living in a college town, getting paid in cash out of the cash register on Friday. Come Monday, we didn't have any money left over. So I saw I needed an opportunity to get out of that rut and go do something and learn a trade and do something with my life. So that's why I joined. That's why I joined the military.
Oh, okay. And when you joined, what branch was it?
The Army.
So you joined the Army, and when did you go on active duty?
Well, active duty was in September 2002. No, 1982. September 1982. I retired in 2002.
Okay, all right. And what was your rank when you started out? Did you go in as enlisted or officer?
I was a private first class.
Private first class.
I had a couple of years of college, no degree.
Okay.
So at that time, you got an advancement right off the bat.
Right.
So I came in as a private first class. Went to basic training at Fort Dix, New Jersey.
Okay.
In the wintertime. So I remember we used to at the firing range we had to knock the ice out of the rear sight aperture on our M16 or else we couldn't see anything.
Wow, that cold, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
So when you enlisted, did you get to choose like what MOS you wanted in your first duty station? Did they give you those options?
Not the first duty station, but
no? Okay.
MOS we did. I remember at the MEP station, I like maps.
Okay.
And I found that there was an MOS for topographic engineer.
Really?
Which actually made maps. So I really wanted to do that. And then the guy told me that it was a 3-year waiting list to get into topographic engineering. I had been interested in electronics a little.
Okay.
I was doing lights and sound for the theater. So he found the tactical microwave systems repair. And of course, at that time, I didn't know what tactical meant, but I went ahead and signed up for that. And it was between my recruiter and the one across the room on the computer, see who could get that MOS first. So I was a 26 Lima. Went to basic, I said, Fort Dix, but then on to Fort Gordon for AIT.
Wow. So how many years did you serve in the military?
I did 20 years and 14 days.
20 years. And what rank did you retire at?
I was a CW3, Chief Warrant Officer 3.
So tell us a little bit, because this is not one of my normal questions, but since you've shared with us that you were enlisted and then you went into warrant, what was that transition like going from being enlisted into warrant?
It was like night and day. I was about to get stagnant.
Okay.
I'd been in the Army about 8 years.
All right.
And I was coming up on staff sergeant, and I saw that I was going to be pushing more troops than working on equipment.
Right.
So I was about to get bored. and the opportunity for warrant officer came along. I'd always looked up to and respected the warrant officer, the officer in charge in my electronics shop. So I knew I wanted to be a warrant officer early.
Okay.
To be a walking warrant, as opposed to a pilot, you had to be at least a Sergeant E5.
Okay.
So I actually had my paperwork all together and ready, just waiting for that promotion. And July 1st, 1986, I was promoted to E5, and that afternoon my paperwork was into the G1, and I got picked up for a warrant officer.
Wow. And what was it? How long was like the training? Did you have to go to any schooling or anything for that? Or
Well, we went to the warrant officer candidate school,
Okay.
which is similar to basic training, only harder, at Fort Rucker, Alabama.
oh, Alabama, yeah.
Yeah, in L.A. It was in Lower Alabama.
Okay.
And so that was 8 weeks, and after that I went back to Fort Gordon for the warrant officer technical course,
Okay.
and that was 36 weeks at Fort
36 weeks.
Gordon. Yeah.
So when you became a warrant officer, what was your MOS then?
Okay, I came originally I was a 286 Alpha, and then they changed it to 256 Alpha, I think, and then they changed it again to 918 Bravo.
Okay.
Right around 1990 or so, they moved us over into the Ordnance Corps instead of the Signal Corps. I think the mindset was that anything technical, anything maintenance needed to be under Ordnance Corps.
Okay.
So I actually ended up in the Ordnance Corps, although all but one of my assignments were with the Signal Unit.
Wow. So what did it mean to you personally about serving in the military?
Well, my dad was a draftee in World War II,
Okay.
and as well as my father-in-law. My father-in-law actually served under General Patton in Europe. My dad, he went to Panama. He was in the Coast Artillery. He was a clerk in the Coast Artillery. But I'd always looked up to those guys and what they did, and that's really why I wanted to go into the military. And then once I got in there, I mean, it's addictive. I know some people go and they don't like it, but I welcome the structure.
Right.
And it really made a man out of me.
Yep.
And when I first went to college, before I joined the Army, before I met my wife, I was a theater major, and pretty much there for the party. So when I left the community college, my stamped across my transcripts was academic warning. After I got into the military and I got focused and I put some structure in my life, and I saw that what value the education could be.
Right.
So then I started going back to school after I joined the military.
And it's a great experience as well. You know, it really does shape you for your future and teaches you a lot of skills and you know how to do what am I trying to say? Mission objective oriented, you know, and yeah.
Yeah, and it's all about the mission.
Right.
And subsequent leadership roles that I've had since then, I've never forgotten that. You know, you don't let it be about you. It can't be about the people that you're working for. It's about the mission. I mean, everything comes back around to the bottom line. And you know, I guess that's your first general order is the successful accomplishment of the mission.
Yep. So tell us, what is your favorite duty station and what made it your favorite duty station? And I'd also like to ask, if you don't mind, like, did you have quite a few different, in the 20 years that you were in the military, did you have quite a few?
Well, apparently they liked me in Germany. I did 4-year tours in Germany.
Okay.
So 12 years altogether in Germany. They all started out as a 3-year tour, but my wife really got a good job over there, so we extended every time.
Okay.
I was in the 1st Armored Division first, a 141st Signal Battalion, and then I got orders back to Fort Stewart, Georgia, in the 24th Infantry in the 24th Signal Battalion, and then I got picked up for warrant, went to my schooling, and my first duty station as a warrant officer was with the maintenance unit in Hanau, Germany.
Okay.
I was in the Third Corps Support Command. Actually, 86 Signal Battalion. No, that was Signal. Gosh, I can't even remember the. 149th Maintenance Company. That's what it was. All right, and then after that, I got stationed at Fort Huachuca for the first time. I was only here for about 2.5 years. They offered degree completion program for warrants.
Okay.
So I jumped on that right first thing. So for about 2.5 years here in Sierra Vista, my duty station was Western International University.
Okay.
So, and it was really cool. I mean, all my classes were at night, so I could get up in the morning and hit the gym, and then spend the afternoon in the library. You didn't have all this internet stuff.
Right.
In the library, and then my classes were at night, and only 4 days a week.
I don't know how we survive without Google.
Well, nowadays, yeah.
Yeah, you need to know anything, you just, hey, Google it or.
But then after I graduated with my bachelor's degree
Okay.
from Western International, then I got orders again for Germany, this time in the 11th Signal Brigade. No, the 22nd Signal Brigade in Darmstadt, Germany.
Okay.
And I was in the 440th Signal, and that was my favorite duty station.
Okay.
And I think it's because we deployed. That was the unit that I deployed with to Bosnia twice.
Okay.
And you really get to know people, and you build those family relationships with the people that you work when you have to live with them 24/7.
So you were in Bosnia when the Serbian Bosnian thing was going on?
Right.
You guys were there to offer support?
Right, I was there in 96 and 98.
Okay.
So we were there when they first built the bridge over the Sava River, and had to sit there and camp out in Farmer John's field for about a month until they got the bridge built over the river.
Right.
And I remember we went to mine awareness training because in Bosnia there's about 1 million landmines, and nobody wrote down where they put them.
Right.
So we went to Grafenwehr for about a month with mine awareness training. And I remember the first day that we went into country, I drove my own vehicle. I always insisted on driving myself. Maybe that's the enlisted in me.
Yeah.
I drove all the way from Croatia to Lukovac, Bosnia, straddling the center line. Because I didn't want to get anywhere close to where the landmines may be.
Yeah.
And it was really daunting. I mean, there were soldiers, Bosnian soldiers, standing at the bus stop going to work carrying their AK-47.
Wow.
So that was kind of interesting for a kid from Southwest Virginia.
Yeah, that's an interesting experience. So getting back to your favorite duty station in Germany, what made it your favorite there? What did, other than you said that the deploying, but like, was there any kind of specific food or culture or any type of like sightseeing in the area that added to it?
With going to Bosnia twice during that duty station, I didn't spend a lot of time in Germany.
Okay.
And then my wife did. My wife worked for the Stars and Stripes newspaper.
Really?
Yeah.
What did she do?
She was in accounting.
Okay.
Yeah, she was accounts receivable. She's the one that went out and made sure that the people, they paid for the ads that they got.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but probably my first duty station in Ansbach, because it was down in Bavaria.
Right.
Germany was all new to us. We, right from the very beginning, we got off the Kaserne and went out into the German economy and got to know the German people, learned to speak the language, joined a German-American Volksmarch club.
Yeah?
We were really active,
in the community.
Yeah. So that gave us a good basis for, I guess, Germany being our second adopted country.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the second duty station in Hanau, that's when I had my motorcycle. So we we belonged to a German American motorcycle club. So every weekend we were gone someplace going to a motorcycle rally.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's different in Germany. I mean, almost every town has a motorcycle club, and there's none of this. There's very little of the politics and the one percenter clubs versus the other clubs in the organized crime. I think that it goes on with some of the big motorcycle organizations here. It was all just a big, fun, happy party, and you would see you got to know people from all over Germany, and you would see them time and again. when you
Wow.
got together for these rallies. So as far as my favorite time in Germany is probably there. And then my favorite duty station, as far as the Army goes, was with my unit in Darmstadt, the 440th Signal.
I've never been there, but I understand they had great beer over there in Germany.
They had great beer. As a matter of fact, I still have a little bit of a beer
Yeah.
gut, and we've been back since 1999. Beer and the food. I mean, the
Yep.
food is just it's just wonderful.
And the like the culture, like the music and stuff. I mean, it's so foreign to you that it's so easy to want to just soak in all that. Soak it all in, yeah. So, can you tell us, looking back on your military service, what was your fondest memory?
Gosh, that's hard to say. That's hard to say. Probably my fondest memory was developing soldiers.
Okay.
Being able to take that private who just came off the street and turn them into a soldier and into a technician. And, my wife and I never had any children. So
Okay.
I used to always joke I had a shop full of them most of the
Right.
time. So I think that's probably my fondest experience. as
Man,
far as
I
that
wish
goes.
you would have been my NCOIC or commander or something. That would have been pretty cool. I like how so many of our leadership people that I've interviewed have said exactly what you did, like how developing this young person into a better soldier and getting them to be, yeah, I love that. Thank you for that. That's a great answer.
Well, I had one soldier when I was an E5, when I was a sergeant in Ansbach. He bounced a check at the PX.
Uh-oh.
So they contacted the unit, and the first sergeant contacted me, and on the general counseling form, a lot of people don't know about the backside, and that's where the person has rehabilitated, where they have undone the wrong that they did.
Right.
So I did this guy's counseling for him, and I gave him specific instructions to go up to the PX and pay for that check, and come back and tell me that he did it. And I'll tell you, about 6 months after that soldier left our unit, I got a letter from him thanking me.
Wow.
Thanking
See,
me.
that's exactly what I'm talking about, the impact that you have on others. And just like, it's a wow moment, right?
Yeah.
It really is. What positive experience did you get from serving in the military that you carried into the civilian sector?
Pride. I mean, just pride in this country.
Okay.
I saw a meme on Facebook the other day. It says, "I'm proud of my country, but not my government," and that is pretty much my opinion right now.
Right.
And one thing that you learn in the military that is, if you get in a unit and you don't like it, just hang on, because either you or the people that you don't like are going to leave. They're going to PCS. They're going to go
Right.
somewhere else. And I mean, I've been in units that went from the best unit, one of the best units I've ever been in, to the worst unit with the change of command.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel the same way about our government. I mean, the founding fathers put a change every 4 years in there for a reason.
Yep. I agree with that. And tell us, what advice would you give to anyone that was thinking about joining the military?
I actually, when we were in Sierra Vista the first time,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if anybody remembers the Sorry Gulch Saloon.
I sure do.
That was our hangout, because that's where all the motorcycles
Yep.
stayed. There was a young lady that was going into the service, and she asked me that question. And my advice to her was, don't expect anything to make sense.
Really?
Because you'll get frustrated.
Yeah.
The best thing you do is go with the flow. Somebody told me when I went to basic training, the best thing you can do when the day you leave is for your drill sergeant to not know your name.
That's true.
So you just toe the line, do what they tell you to do, and learn everything that you possibly can.
Very cool. So, shifting gears a little bit, let's talk about how you ended up coming here to Cochise County. Now, we know that you said that you served here for 2.5 years. Was it while you were here that something about this area drew you in, or was it job? Can you share that with us?
Well, having been in Germany for 8 years, the first 2 tours, when it came to Arizona, the weather is one of the first things that
Right.
struck us as a positive. And As a matter of fact, if I never see another snowflake, I'll be happy. Unfortunately, our weather has been pretty wintry here lately.
And windy.
But we were stationed here for those 2.5 years, went back to Germany for 4 years. I actually got orders for CASCOM at Fort Lee. I was going to be like a big staff job writing doctrine and probably playing more golf than anything. And we turned it down because we knew we wanted to come back to Sierra Vista and retire.
So what is your favorite thing about living here in Cochise County? Would you say it's the weather, the people, a combination?
The weather's a big thing. The people, yes. I like the fact that Sierra Vista is a small city with a big city vibe.
I agree with that.
You know, in my hometown was 8,000 people, so you know.
One of the
50 grand that are here, I mean, that seems like a big city to me.
Would you also say, though, too, that having such a big veteran population here makes you feel more at home?
It does. It does. I mean, you have something in common with almost everybody you meet.
Right.
Because of the veteran population that's here.
So tell us, how did you get involved with the Elks? Because I know that you're really big into the Elks. You're a past exalted ruler, which is the top dog in the Elks Lodge, and you held some other positions. You're also, right now, what is it that you're doing? Something for the Arizona National, not the Arizona, it's the National.
Yeah, well, the Elks National Foundation.
National Foundation.
Yeah, that's our national fundraising entity.
Right.
But I got involved with the Elks the first time from the Oktoberfest that the Elks have every year.
Okay.
And it's usually like the third Saturday in September, and then we've been doing that since 1980 something.
And they do put on a pretty good spread, don't they?
Yes, they do. But my wife was going to her aerobics classes, and one of her fellow students, a German girl married to a GI, well, a retired GI.
Right.
They invited us to the Oktoberfest, and we had just a great big old time. And one of the reasons that I wanted to retire from the military when I did was it was time to put down roots and do something in the community, join an organization like the Elks. And so Russ Madden, he was my sponsor, took us inside the lodge after the Oktoberfest and showed us everything. And I thought it was just, it's what I wanted to do. And actually, I mean, I'm going to be honest. For the first reason that we joined was for the party atmosphere and for the cheap drinks and meals.
Right.
But after you get in there and you start serving, you know, now I have more fun on this side of the table than I do on that.
Right.
You know, so after we started serving and seeing all the great things that the Elks do, that's what got us. And I've been an Elk 25 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. The Elks National Foundation, it was founded in 1928 by the then national president, or Grand Exalted Ruler. That's our traditional title.
Right.
He took a $100,000 grant and invested it. And the charter for the Elks National, or let's call it ENF, the charter says that we'll never spend the principal. So
that's what amazed me when you said that.
Yeah.
At the Bluegrass Band. When you made that, I was shocked.
Yeah, the endowment fund's worth about $800 million right now, and they've never spent any of the principal. So the $25 that I've got going in every month, it's still there because they only spend the earnings off of it.
Right. What do they do with some of the funds too? Right.
Yeah. Well, we're the second only to the U.S. government in scholarships.
Wow.
Last year, the Elks awarded nationwide about $30 million in scholarships.
So if any of our viewers have high school children or approaching that, how would they get information on how to apply for those scholarships?
You can always contact the local lodge, or you can go online to www.elks.org and go to the scholarship link.
Okay.
And actually, you fill out your application and everything online now.
Oh, wow.
And it'll ask you, what is your local lodge, so that we can, one, get credit for it, but also be there to help the student through the process to get these scholarships done. And there's probably well, they have their most valuable student scholarship. The two top ones every year, one to a male and one to a female, are I think $50,000.
Wow.
And Sierra Vista, Buena High School, 5-6 years ago, we had a finalist that got a $20,000 scholarship from the ENF.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. And other things. I mean, the ENF funds our veterans programs, our youth programs. They have community investment grants. There's 5 or 6 grants that each local lodge can apply for and get, ranging anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 to do projects here in the community.
Well, I do know that one of the things that the Elks, our Elks Lodge here does with the Veterans Committee, they do their spaghetti dinners the first Wednesday of the month, which is just fabulous spaghetti. If you love spaghetti, you gotta go. But the fact that they take the money that they raise for that and then they apply for, like you said, the grants and stuff too, and then they have, 3 events a year or 4 events a year?
I think they shoot for 4.
4 events?
In April, they're doing their first month of the military child barbecue.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure the exact date. I came unprepared, but
that's okay. They can get it from the calendar on the website. We can put the link up there.
Sure. Yeah. So our veterans committee is really active here.
Yes.
Our auxiliary. Up until like 1993, the Elks was a gentleman's organization. And in 1993, at the Grand Lodge Convention, they voted to allow ladies to become Elks.
Right.
But every lodge pretty much has an auxiliary, which is the ladies' opportunity to get involved in, let's call it a committee of the lodge, and do things.
And there are some men that belong to the auxiliary as well.
And now that the Elks is a co-ed organization, I mean, I join the auxiliary every year. It's like $10 a month, or no, $10 a year.
Just to support them.
Just to support them. I mean, when it comes time to do a big dinner, it's great to have a feminine touch to help set up all the tablecloths and the table decorations and all that. And they decorate the lodge for Christmas and Easter and St. Patrick's Day and all of those.
Are you guys having the fish tonight? Is that tonight? Or?
Tonight, no, it's the first Friday. The first Friday of the month is Fish Friday.
Oh, okay. What are they having tonight?
No,
for dinner?
I'm wrong. The second Friday is Fish Friday. Tonight, there's no dinner.
Oh, there's no dinner tonight.
No, because our installation of officers is tomorrow.
Right. That's tomorrow. That's right. Where does that take place at?
Well, we actually do the installation at the Masonic Lodge because we have our lodge room set up for the ball. For the dinner and the installation ball later that night. So we always work with the Masonic Lodge, give them a donation to use their facility. So,
and another thing you do at the Elks is the karaoke. Tell us about that.
Oh gosh, yes. I just found out one of our newer members asked me how long I've been doing karaoke at the lodge. So I went back and looked. It's 18 years.
Wow.
And I only do it on the second Friday. People have asked me to do it more often, but then it's going to become a job.
Right. You don't want it to be a job.
And I like to keep it exclusive, and people will start saying, well, we'll come next week. So every second Friday of every month, we do the karaoke, and we've got a lot of great singers. We got some folks who aren't, but the bottom line is we always have a good time.
Yep. And how late does it usually go to when you do the karaoke?
Well, we are an older demographic.
Right.
When I first started doing it 18 years ago, we'd be there till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Ooh, wow.
Now, about 8:30, 9 o'clock, we're done.
Yeah, that's about my bedtime.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, because I want people to know, if someone's watching this and it sounds like the Elks is something that they would really like to join or be interested, how could they go about becoming an Elk? Don't they have to be sponsored or recommended by somebody? Or
you have to be sponsored by an Elk.
Okay.
We prefer that you know each other to an extent.
Right.
My recommendation is to contact the lodge, 458-2065.
Okay.
And
which is the lodge number, right?
Right, is the lodge
number. The 2065.
Yeah. Well, actually, let me do a little side story here.
Okay.
When our lodge was instituted in 1958,
58?
Yeah.
Wow.
One of our members was a major up on post who worked at the telephone exchange. And he told whoever had 2065, he told him that wasn't working anymore and they had to pick another number. So they picked another number, and that's how we got 2065. But anyway,
wow.
if you call the lodge, talk to our lodge secretary, and that can get the process started. I always recommend that if you know an elk, ask them if you can tag along.
Right.
To a dinner or an event or something, and start to get to know the folks, because on your application you're going to need your sponsor and 2 other references to join the
Right.
now don't get me wrong, we do have folks who just walk in and we take them, and for the most part it's successful. There's been times when it didn't work out.
Right.
Okay, but we like for you to already know something about
Have that
us,
connection.
and we know something about you.
Right. All right. Do you have any last thing that you'd like to share with us? Any other words you want
I just want to thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Oh, it's our pleasure and honor.
I'm sorry we had to do
you.
it late. But
Thank you for being. What did you say it was? Huckleberry?
what's that?
You said that
I
you'll be
said, I said I'm your Huckleberry.
Yeah. Because David stepped up because I needed someone and he was like my little ace in the hole. So I appreciate you for coming in this morning and sitting down and sharing your story of service. Again, not only to our country, but to our county here in Cochise as well. Got a couple quick announcements I'd like to share with everybody. So on Monday, which is April Fool's Day, so be careful, you've been warned. Starting at 0900, going to 1000 hours, is the Marine Corps League breakfast, and they meet at the Landmark Cafe. And also on Monday, April 1st, starting at 1730, going to 1900 hours, is this Discovery Bible Study, and that is right here at the Warrior Healing Center in the Military Library. On Tuesday, April 2nd, starting at 0900 and going to 1200 hours, we have Healing with Art, Tangles. That will be done right here at the Warrior Healing Center in the main conference room. And on Wednesday, April 3rd, starting at 0830 until when it's determined, the Bello Vets, every Wednesday and Saturday, they go out and ride. They will be doing their group ride. They meet at the Pueblo del Sol Country Club parking lot. And it's a great way, if you're a disabled vet, you get to go out and ride a bicycle with other veterans. You get that camaraderie. You get out in it's very good. It's very inspiring to watch these people ride. It really is. On Wednesday, April 3rd, starting at 1230, going to 1630, is the Genealogy Club meeting. So if you're really into if you like the genealogy stuff, you might want to come and check that out right here. That takes place at the Warrior Healing Center's main conference room. And then on Thursday, April 4th, starting at 1700 hours, going to 1830, we have the Flutes for Vets Circle that will be taking place right here in the Warrior Healing Center as well. And even though it's not on my notes, I just want to remind everybody that next Friday is our Fun Food Friday. That's right, it's the first Friday of the month, so we have our Fun Food Friday starting at 11 o'clock and goes until, last time I thought it was 1400 hours, so make sure to come down and check that out. And hello, Pops. There's my dad right there. Said, great interview, David. So everybody, thank you for joining us. David, thank you again so much for coming in, man. We really appreciate it. Have a great day and a good weekend, everybody.
All right.